What if the ultimate weapon of the Bene Gesserit did not slip beyond their grasp? What if, in a different branch of time, it was not Paul Atreides who emerged from the fire of Arrakis as the Kwisatz Haderach, but rather Feyd-Rautha Harkonnen, the cruel, cunning, and charismatic heir of House Harkonnen? This is the story of how calculated manipulation, a shift in strategy, and a single choice altered the destiny of the known universe. The divergence begins with a decision, a simple obedience that reshapes the cosmos. In this alternate reality, Lady Jessica fulfills her orders and bears Duke Leto a daughter, not a son. This child, Alia, is destined for a union with the Harkonnen bloodline, as the Bene Gesserit intended. Without Paul to upset their carefully stacked plans, the sisterhood maintains control over the genetic trajectory of their long-gestating breeding program. In secret, they begin shaping Feyd-Rautha. Instead of leaving him to rot in the gladiator pits and decadence of Giedi Prime, the Bene Gesserit install silent mentors, hidden Reverend Mothers posing as concubines, instructors, and servants. Under this watchful guidance, Feyd learns the voice, the subtle gestures of Pranabindu control, and the power of prescient dreams whispered to him through doses of spice and guided meditation. Unlike Paul, whose awakening was an act of desperation, Feyd's ascension is methodical, designed. He is not merely groomed. He is conditioned to believe that he is the destined savior, a messiah crafted by ancient hands. His natural ambition fuses with Bene Gesserit poise, creating a being of immense charisma and terrifying purpose. The Baron Harkonnen, once amused by his nephew's vicious theatrics, begins to fear the cold lucidity that emerges in Feyd's eyes. This is no longer a boy craving approval. This is a predator with vision. When Feyd undergoes his trial of the spice on Salusa Secundus, arranged in secret by the sisterhood, the veil is lifted. He sees across time, touches the golden threads of future and past, and emerges with the terror and ecstasy of the Kwisatz Haderach. Unlike Paul, whose prescience isolates him, Feyd uses it to manipulate. He becomes a puppet master of destinies, weaving futures with an iron smile. The Bene Gesserit, thrilled by their apparent success, install him as their chosen instrument. They believe they can control him, but Feyd is Harkonnen to the marrow, and he is no one's puppet. Without Paul to rally the Fremen, the desert remains untamed. But Feyd, recognizing the spiritual void among the tribes, orchestrates his own jihad. Guided by the sisterhood and supplied by Choam spice merchants, he spreads a syncretic faith that mixes Fremen prophecy with Bene Gesserit doctrine, placing himself at the center. He is not Muad'Dib. He is the Serpent Redeemer, the voice of the Shadow Sun. The Fremen resist at first, but when the rains fall on Arrakis, engineered through the hidden knowledge of planetologists and the calculated exploitation of terraforming lore, they begin to believe. Not in freedom, but in order, in inevitability. Jessica Atreides remains a silent figure in the new empire, her loyalty split between maternal instinct and sisterhood allegiance. Alia, denied the spice-induced awakening in the womb, grows slowly under her mother's guidance. She does not become abomination. She becomes something else entirely, a high priestess, calculating and cold, devoted to the faith of the Serpent Redeemer. The political landscape reshapes under Feyd's hand. The Baron dies in a quiet coup, poisoned by a servant whose mind was cracked by Bene Gesserit whispers. Duke Leto Atreides, offered a title within Feyd's regime, accepts for the survival of his house. The Emperor Shaddam IV, humiliated and cornered, is forced to abdicate when the Sardaukar are outmaneuvered and slowly absorbed into the Redeemer's forces. The Guild, sensing its dependence on a single spice-born being, attempts assassination. It fails. The Guild navigators, once arrogant in their mystery, become little more than tools. In time, Feyd-Rautha Harkonnen ascends to the Lion Throne, but unlike Paul, he does not walk the knife edge of prophecy reluctantly. He embraces it fully. There is no doubt, no torment, no question of choice. He sees the future, and he molds it with calculated cruelty. Entire worlds are bent to his order. His jihad is not wild and uncontrollable, but structured and merciless. The known universe does not burn in religious frenzy. It freezes under a lattice of prescience and control, a golden cage. The Bene Gesserit, once elated, slowly come to understand the truth. They did not create the Kwisatz Haderach. They unleashed him. And now, as planets chant Feyd's name and Choam records 100 years of stable prophets, the sisterhood weeps behind closed veils, realizing that their victory was the birth of their dominator. And thus, the universe tilts on a different axis. Not beneath the banner of Muad'Dib, but beneath the unyielding gaze of the Serpent Redeemer. Feyd-Rautha, Kwisatz Haderach, tyrant god, and the final architect of human destiny.